This is 174, right?
Yeah.
It says 21 minutes ago, waiting for Ian Adams at 8:30 p.m. What the fuck, Chuck?
I have no idea what's going on. Uh,
Oh boy. Can you hear when since I'm sharing my screen?
oh,
I turned the sound on because I haven't seen it in a while. I didn't know if it would bother you.
I can turn that off on my end. You're talking about the sharing
Yeah,
your screen and then it playing too.
yeah. Oh, now it's showing video. How weird. Started streaming less than a minute ago.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I turned my
Well, we're
IP
doing the
camera thing off because that I wasn't sure if that was taking up bandwidth, but it know if it's the bandwidth or my computer or what.
Hmm. Well, think you should play the theme song again?
Connection. No, we're not doing that shit. We yeah. Uh, no, don't worry about it, man. We're we just I don't know even know where like how far we've been, but just to wrap up, I was drinking some uh, Liberty Brew and some Orange Crush. And Frank, you said you just tried. What was it? The new Mountain Dew.
Mandu Voodoo.
Yeah, the Mountain Dew Voodoo that already came out, and you said it was pretty good.
It's a mouthful of Skittles in a bottle.
Nice.
I mean, who doesn't like Skittles?
Yeah.
Communists, because
Right.
they hate freedom. And yeah, so
Yeah.
I guess at that point, we're up to
Yeah.
the video of the week.
Yeah. We just jumped right into the video of the week.
Hide and seek. It's the video of the week.
So yours is how to make your own satin hardline tubes, huh?
Yep.
I enjoy this guy's videos. I know it's not a guy; it's a channel. He's just a guy on the channel. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. Is this a company or is he actually like just doing it himself? Because
I
I
don't know,
honestly
but we
don't
can't.
know.
Oh yeah, we.
Huh?
Oh, it said Frank has minimized the screen hold tight or something when I was trying to look on
Oh,
your
I just
screen share.
I made another tab here just to see, because I honestly don't know. I know there are other people on the channel, but like I just seen the girl go, "Here's the thing," and like
Yeah.
I've seen channels where like they were reading comments from fans and they're like, "I don't like so and so, get on the show." He's like, "It's my channel." So, yeah, the satin hardline is a very cool effect when you put lights and obviously water through a tube. Um, I guess he's going over how to get a smooth finish because you're sanding the tubing and trying not to make big long streaks.
Shit up, man, with that
What?
real rough sandpaper. You don't want to be doing that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, like clear soft tubing kind of gets foggy after a while. So I mean, if you don't go hardline, I guess you wouldn't be able to notice the difference. Another thing I've seen people do is that frosted glass spray paint.
Oh yeah.
They just spray the pieces then, and as long as you get an even coat, it's less likely to leave streaks. I think he's doing this one on a screw up because you can see the bulge around the bend, or it just might be certain pieces of tubing don't bend too well. I don't remember what I don't do hardline yet, so I don't really know. I probably won't ever use it in my own personal build just because I'm fucking lazy.
Right.
I mean, you pay me enough, I'll do it. But yeah, I mean, it looks good on a. I mean, granted, here you can see streaks if you're like really like you've got it. Am I in 4K? Let me see. Oh, I'm only in 1080. Oh, this video only goes to 1080. Okay, but yeah, you can see streaks if you're like anal and pulling up to it,
Oh,
But
yeah.
This thing is as close as you're gonna get.
Yeah.
You're not. You're gonna be maybe 4 feet from the thing, unless it's even if it's on your desk. You don't sit and stare at the fucking thing. You look at it and go, "Damn, that's a good looking system," and then you turn around. You don't have your eyes on the case all day. Let me go ahead and mute it on my end here. But yeah, it's a good effect, and if done well, there we go. If done well, you can see the difference here.
Yeah.
It's just to make it, flatter and give it a frosted look.
Yeah. Yeah, so like a couple points about it was, yeah, he was saying that in order to get like a really like uniform and smooth finish like that, yeah, you definitely don't want to be using any like hard sandpaper that's like meant for like sanding flat things. It's better
Yeah, he's
using
got
like a
he's
sanding.
got a foam sanding disc, right?
Yeah.
That's more made to evenly do contours. Because
Yeah.
tubing is a fucking
block
contour.
that's like
Imagine that.
It's like a sponge kind of,
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's made to get in it around edges and stuff.
Right.
I mean, I've liked this guy's content before. Like I said, I guess off camera. I watched when he was leak testing a setup with air. It was one of the first times I had seen somebody do it, and he really showed you just let it do it, and if it'll hold, it's not really gonna leak. I was worried about it, so I made sure mine could hold longer than his, because he only did it for a couple minutes, then took it off. I let mine sit for like an hour when you only need 15 minutes, but it's informative, and it's this guy clearly knows his stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, and people have commented about the frosted spray paint thing that it could work, but if you're gonna put it on there when it's already like glossy and stuff, it's probably gonna peel off because there's like gonna be like no bite to it, especially around the parts where you have to, like put it into the fittings, and then that's gonna mar it up. And I mean,
Yeah,
you
gotta
could
put
sand it down to adhere, but then you might as well just do this method
sand
he's
it,
talking about and sand the whole thing anyways.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's all you're doing it to be a craftsman and do something crafty and neat.
Yeah.
It's all trying to accomplish the same ends. Like I said, this damn thing from 10 feet away looks pretty boss. Up close, oh boy, that's fucked up. Just like a car. My Chevy looks awesome from across the street. You get up on it and you're like, ooh. I was gonna include a video. This guy I follow on YouTube bought a server cabinet because he's upgrading his new cabinet to like 100 and something U. It's taller than he is, and he's putting an AC unit in it, like it's made just to cool servers because his servers are overheating. Right. So his new cabinet was an enterprise grade that was discontinued, so we got it for 100 and some bucks. Thing is, though, it had been discontinued and the side panels were discontinued, so to get side panels, he would have had to pay $600 each. So instead of that, he just bought some MDF, measured the shit out, and made them himself. And he painted them, and he's like, yeah, 10 feet away, it just looks like any old server cabinet, which is all you're trying to fucking do. So yeah. I thought that was interesting.
And another like a side thing I wanted to add was when I'm not gonna like start doing custom cooling and like for a while because I just bought these AIOs and those were a lot of money. So I'm for a little bit, maybe like a year or so, I might stick with them, but then maybe get into custom water cooling. But I was thinking, patience for all the soldering and stuff, I might as well just jump balls deep with the hard line,
I mean, whatever whatever you feel froggy, there's no rush in it. It's all about what you want to do.
I could go at my own pace and stuff. I'm gonna have like 3 computers, so I mean I could have one.
You can experiment. And you can, a lot of guys, like that guy, male cat lady, he's got just a shitty computer he put together, so he's got water blocks that he got, and like he doesn't even use actual water cooling tubing. He went to the hardware store and got some fucking tubing, which is not as good for water cooling because it can leak plasticizer and all that stuff. But he doesn't care, and he just runs colored coolant in it because who gives a shit?
Yeah.
You could do that. If you wanted to water cool your FX build, you could.
Yeah. What I do experiment with too is, I don't know if you can see on my screen share here, I have this. It's a type of dye that I was gonna try to experiment with it that it can change colors depending on the temperature here. So it's like, if you can see the hand here. I just had that idea of, well, that'd be cool because it'll be actually like RGB, like like coolant then.
Up till
oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say up till it reaches equilibrium.
Yeah, I was reading that some people are saying that it, depending on like how drastic the colors change, there might not be a whole like lot of like contrast in the color then.
Mm-hmm. Is this for like adding to like distilled water?
Type of thing. So, but I think it's like a liquid dye that you could put in there. It's just like those pigments that I forget who was it that made that. I remember Jay was showing a video on how to like mix pigments.
Yeah, with like
created
pastels and
custom
stuff.
colors. Yeah, yeah. So this would be like a pastel type of thing, I believe.
I've got a dye for my water here. I've got that UV blue, which UV actually doesn't really last that long. I should add some more to it, but eh. If I
Yeah,
go into it, there's other stuff I'm going to do, so I don't feel
yeah.
like fucking with it.
If you ever did decide to do hardline frosted effect like that,
I'm not. I'm not gonna.
uh,
Same reason as Linus.
you
It's just I'm too fucking. I'm too lazy. I mean, he went with it, but now if you have to take something apart, it's more of a pain in the ass. I can change my motherboard in this motherfucker and not drain it.
right.
So that's the definition of lazy. I
Yeah,
I mean, I did drain mine, but I didn't disconnect any of the fittings to change my CPU. I just flopped it over and took the old one out, wiped everything down as best I could, put the fucking. Or actually, I didn't have to. I had the pad, so I didn't even have to wipe anything down. I just took it out, put the new one in, put the pad back down, and made sure everything was straight and snugged it down. And I could have left it filled, but I didn't feel like comfortable doing that, especially since I laid it down to tighten everything down.
right.
So yeah. Lazy. Hmm.
Yeah.
And
Us.
maintenance just easy.
Yeah, I mean, that is true. But another thing is you say you can buy if you could find them. They do have, like acrylic tubing or PET tubing that is,
Oh,
like
pre-frosted.
pre-frosted like that.
I wonder how
You
much with bending. I wonder how much that would warp the effect.
know in the video that when you did heat it up to bend, it kind of did polish it out from the heat
Right.
because when
Right.
you heat it up, you're actually changing the surface and
It,
stuff,
the surface
melting it a little
melts.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you bend it. So of course it's going to be smoother, but
So
I mean that's the
with
nature of the beast.
the pre-done stuff though, that's why it says but with the pre-frosted stuff, I'm not sure how that would be, but what I would be curious about with that, or you could even get well, if they frosted the inside, that would be cool too, because then like you could have the inside frosted but the outside smooth, so you could get like a you ever see that glass that's frosted on one side and then like a mirror on the other, so
Mm-hmm.
it's like a lot more fancier, smoother, or whatever. Um,
I'd be so worried about bits of that coming loose though inside of the loop.
you think
But
it'd be better to have the inside of a loop like really smooth
well, I mean,
instead
you
of
think
catching any
about it
shit?
when water runs through a river, it smooths the rocks and shit, and it does in copper and everything. It erodes. That's what water does. I can't imagine whatever they're putting in to make it frosted, you know, being beneficial. They can't really sand it if it's internal, so it's got to be some kind of a finish they're adding to it. You would think, right?
Yeah, well, you could get self etching stuff. I was gonna say too if you.
At that
I,
at that
I don't
point,
know how it is though.
I'd be so worried about like the integrity of the tube though after that, because once an internal crack is made, I,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
I'm sure I'm overthinking it, but just on a structural level, I mean, sure, it looks probably sounds dope, but
I'm.
I'd like to
I
see
mean,
it.
we're just speculating. I'm sure
We're
they
spitballing here.
probably used. Yeah, I'm sure they probably just.
They, they've tested it, and then they send it out to people like Jace 2 Cents, and then it turns the shit brown, and he bitches about
Yeah,
it.
but yeah. Um.
That's
Of course,
cool
you could
though.
always. Yeah, you could always paint it too. Which, if that color, if that mood went in it, uh, it like if the particles are too big and it gums it up. That's one thing that I was kind of concerned about. I wasn't sure how that would be
I mean,
since
that's
it's
why
not
you stay away
specifically
from
made for.
pastels anyways, because you don't want chunks.
Yeah, because
But I don't know.
the larger particle size. But I would,
Anything to make it opaque, basically, is going to clog stuff up eventually.
yeah, right. I could always put that inside of like a, like a clear paint or whatever, and then just do the outsides. You could always do that. Just finish the outside and make it black tubing or whatever you want. But
Yeah. I could do, whenever I change out my tubing on this thing, I could get some of that blue UV tubing that Linus uses. But I don't
was
know
that
how the
UV?
effect. I mean, it was supposed to be,
Yeah, I mean
but I'm sure.
it looks pretty clean on his.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if when he built it and had the blue, the UV, he actually had cold cathodes in it. Tell you how old that was. So,
Yeah.
but
Now, I
so
was
I,
always
yeah,
thinking too, like what would you think about like a hybrid thing where it's, like how Jay kind of did, but he did it just in the back where it's like mostly hard and then soft. Like, I wonder how it would look if
cool.
you did mostly hard, but then the part, like the part that covers over the water blocks, that would just be soft for like a couple inches, so you could at least like, like sort of like rotate it or teeter it off to the
Eh.
side a little bit.
Then you're mixing fittings, and you gotta remember what the fuck you did. I mean, it's either all the way hard or all the way soft, and I don't want to go no halfway. So anyway, you want to get on to my video of the week
Yeah, was yours related at all? And like
to
computers?
what you had?
Yeah.
No, no,
Okay, all right.
no. Shit, no, man. All right, hold on.
No,
No, man.
no,
If I get
no,
my
no.
There we go. I couldn't select every damn thing. Let me make sure I'm on the right link. Okay. So this was one of the ones that was like you suggested. YouTube's like, you might like this, and I'm like, nah. And then one day I was like sitting on the bowl, and I'm like, well, damn. Okay. So this guy, I don't know if you saw this,
This
remade
fucking guy.
Flap, huh?
This guy. Wise
So this
guy.
guy, yeah, this guy remade Flappy Bird. Ran that game
Yeah,
on
did he
mobile. I
remake
don't
it
know.
into Floppy Bird?
No, he remade it to have RTX
Mm.
because he made it in the Unreal Engine. And it's actually kind of interesting because like he's like, okay, he's like, I'll eventually put a real bird in here. He's like, but just for programming it, he's like, for a placeholder, I'm gonna use a ball. And then he's like, use buildings that you fly between. He's like, I've got these rooftops that go up and down, and he did like a pattern, and he found a fucking bird to throw in there, and it's really interesting because I have no experience with Unreal Engine. But I mean, look at this crap. This is just for Flappy Bird. And then I mean, he makes it look like, well, he fell through the fucking floor. But yeah, he let me. And he goes in depth about. It's a 10-minute video on this bullshit little thing he did. And the funny thing is, when it's time to put RTX on, he only has a 1080. It's a TI, but so
right.
it can do ray tracing, but you have to watch the video to see the quality. And But yeah, I mean, just the premise is stupid, but it was educational, and I enjoyed it. Made me actually want to get the Unreal Engine and dick around with it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But that's all I had on that. Would you like to do stations, good sir?
Get into some stations.
Yeah, hit me with the theme song.
Can I just hear you?
No.
Oh.
Man your
No, you
battle
cannot.
stations. Man your battle stations.
Station.
Station.
Okay, he's got an Aces station.
Asses station.
Yeah, can't tell what kind of monitor that is, though. But he's got some vinyl. Looks like that's a record player. And he's got your Stream Deck. And I think an audio device. I'll have to read the comments and see what the fuck this is all about. Nice, but the table looks like it's bowling. Yeah, it was spare leg. Since I used to have one in the stores. I'm going to replace the top with a solid walnut butcher block when I have the time and the funds.
Yeah, this one just popped out to me because it just looked really clean. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it kind of looks cozy, you know.
Yeah. Got everything you need. Got
cozy
music.
wall there, yeah.
You got the music. You got the gaming station. It's nice.
Yeah. You probably even have room over there for like a nice mini fridge next to there or something on the left.
Well, they got. The only weird thing is they got their a wall tapestry of their little Egyptian pharaoh hound pharaoh. Well, that's a little much, but whatever.
Yeah.
I thought I thumbs up that. Let's see. Yeah, okay.
Give a
So
thumbs and a liking.
your second station. Oh boy, he's got a PlayStation like fucking Doug, and he's got a little hand doing the finger flipping us the bird.
Oh. Nice.
Other than that, it's dark as shit in here. I can barely see what I'm
Yeah.
looking at.
Yeah, it's a little bit dark.
And like
What she
they're
said.
committing that LED sin. You can see the fucking strip right there.
Yeah.
And like they've got shit on shelves.
just
None of that's
sin.
lit up. Well, like they've obviously got extra LED. Like they didn't have to put the LEDs right there, and they couldn't light that up too, so you could see what they're reading. No. But I mean, they got a monster cane collection up above it, so maybe it's not all we're seeing. Right?
Right. Could be more of a story, right?
Probably not. Ooh, hold on. I was having to click the link beforehand to see if your next link was the same link or like if I clicked the wrong one or what. And I enjoy this one more
Yeah.
because
Yeah, I was building up
you
to
know
that one.
because weeb
Yeah.
because
Weeb
monitors.
and screens? Yeah.
I mean, I would have
I didn't even
preferred.
notice the Wii part. I was just like screens, man.
I mean, yeah, they got their waifus and cables every goddamn where. Whew.
Yeah, me and
But
Floyd found this last weekend when we were just digging around on battle stations.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Whew, what did he say?
He said it was pretty crazy.
Right? Like, I mean, like, what the hell kind of shelf is this? This this is like industrial shelving.
Yeah.
And he's got his computer sitting on it, which I don't. I mean, I like the tall vertical monitors, but then the horizontals stacked on each other, that's weird, but what kind of fucking madness is... I see a butt ton of wires. Let me look at the tower real quick here. Okay, dual GPUs, like I thought. One's an Asus, and the other one's... I'm gonna have to read the... it's... The wires, I'm sorry, look hideous. Like that... Like, I understand you wanted to put the radiator in the back here, but I would have just put the radiator up top so the tubing doesn't look that stupid.
Yeah.
And just, what the fuck? You got 10 feet of cable. I mean, it had so much potential, but then it's got those servers right there. That's got to be screaming in his ear. Like that. Something like that was in its ear.
Yeah.
Man, how... Like, that's, I mean, it's... I want to hate it, but I can't. I mean, this one's messy. This one's clean. This one's probably my favorite. I want to like this one. Yes. Because it's so organized. Granted, there's a Boeing thing in there, but big deal. That's because he went with, MDF with laminate on it.
Yeah. Is he?
You what?
You're not picking the crazy screens one?
That's my second favorite because the screens are... they're not all great. I think they just said, I got a bunch of screens, let me use them all. And, like...
I don't know about that because he's at least I don't know if he just had them lying around because they all like are symmetrical and matched, so you could tell he probably purposely got those,
I mean, you could have got one big monitor. You could have did 3 screens instead of 2, 4, 6, 8 monitors to fill up that same space. Like Jerry's 40-something inch screens, 3 of those.
Yeah.
If I had the space, I don't know. I would like to sit in front of multiple of this thing, but it doesn't look as big if you don't have it surrounded by slightly smaller screens. So I don't know.
I mean, I do like the first one though. I would probably agree with you. That one kind of stood out to me,
I can just hear some like, I could hear Son of a Preacher Man from Pulp Fiction, which you still need to watch. Didn't you see it actually?
Yeah, I did see that.
Okay, you remember when Dude comes into her house and she's playing Son of a Preacher Man and she's like, "Let's go."
Yeah.
On a record player or reel to reel or whatever the hell it was. That's what I imagine coming out of this thing. And then this one is probably a blast to play on. I'm not dissing it at all, but comparatively, given the choice between the 2 of them, I'd take the 8 screens any day.
Yeah. And what's the first?
The first one is number 1.
Yeah, what's his name? Shout out.
Shada Poop. Shada Pop. Sorry, only one O.
Shoda Pop.
Boner.
Hey,
Yeah,
Boner.
you get a peanut. Whoa, where'd that go?
Hey, Boner.
Okay.
George the guy.
Oh,
Saying, "Hey, Boner."
that was George K. Anyway,
Hey, Boner.
so this one, just the title alone first is I laser cut a wooden PC case.
Now we're coming
So-
back to the wooden PC case again, but this is a lot more sophisticated.
Right? And look how goddamn big it is.
That's what she said.
Not to you, to me though, but not to you. But, I mean, seriously.
Yeah, yeah, she was talking about your ass.
But yeah, this is pretty insane. Like, man. And excuse me. So there's,
Yeah, that's pretty good.
there's kind of comments about it and stuff.
He didn't. See, I wish he did like some of those people do a build vlog and
Oh.
pictures, you know?
Right. I mean, they probably were so crazy about it that they didn't, probably didn't take the fucking time to catalog it, record their journey.
I can't picture how people do that shit. Like, I was thinking about doing like a step-by-step thing on how to do something like with 3D printing, but then I got to do like I was thinking I have to do all this B-roll and I have to and make sure the camera's not in my way while I'm working on something, you know?
Right. You pretty much have to write it in your head as you're creating the goddamn thing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure even though this is like a all-in-one, it's like an Alpha Cool unit here, I think.
Yeah.
I want to say that's customizable. I mean, just damn.
Yeah, that reminds me of the one I was watching Bitwit review. He did like a 9-hour stream or something. Like charities that he was doing giveaways, but he was also judging PCs, and then he judged this one it had 2 GPUs, and then the CPU, all 3 of them had an AIO, so it was like 6 tubes going everywhere, just an AIO.
Yeah, it's nuts. Right. Now this one, my art, gaming, streaming, and bunny station.
The
It's got a
art, gaming,
bunny
and what
there.
station? Bunny.
And bunny. Look at the far right. There's a bunny under the desk.
Aw.
Now,
Aw.
so they said, and someone was like, "Oh, it's fun until the bunny shits on the floor." And they said, "Actually, my boy is litter trained."
Oh.
And they said, "Well, how come your tower is right in the middle there?" And they go, "Well, the monitor to the right is a Huion, so they said they mainly focus on the left screen, and then when they need to, use the right screen, they flip it down and draw on it."
Right.
So, I mean, shit. Okay, so.
Huion.
And then they got some weeby, figurines in there, but pretty dope. Got a tiny little computer there and on a little stand and everything. When I think of cozy, I think of something like this. Don't you think?
That's pretty. Yeah, I like that. It looks cozy for the bunny. So he's happy.
Yeah. You're like,
Yeah.
what?
Bunny.
So I mean that
What the heck are you
that
talking
one was
about?
like, what? Right. Someone was like, I didn't see the title. They're like, and I didn't realize your computer was on the table. So when I saw it, I was like, are they gaming on a rabbit?
That's right, Doc. It's been so long, I forget that even how to do an impression of it. Bugs Bunny.
And then, whoop, too close. This dude got 3 screens that don't match up. Whatever. Got the
Whatever.
Sennheiser gaming deck, whatever. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan. I'm not the biggest fan of the AIO because it's comically large. But I mean, I guess it works with everything else that's going on here.
Yeah. Well, I keep getting sucked into the battle station. I do would one week we should just do like an all just tower focused thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like how Bitwit does most of the time. He just does like judges setups, you know, like tower setups or builds.
But yeah, that and I don't like the gaming chair. And then my last one.
You don't like the chair, but it's a
fucking gaming chair. Yeah, how's yours?
Still over here.
Worst mistake I ever mistaked.
Yep. No.
But man, look at this one. This is.
Oh, jeez.
Now, yes, there is a MacBook in there, but this thing actually runs, I think, off of this fractal box to the right. He's got a Herman Miller M-Buddy chair, which I've coveted that for a minute. I just can't make myself pay $1,500 for a fucking chair. But I mean, he's got a nice.
$1,500 for a lot of things is pretty expensive.
Yeah, I mean that keyboard is just, and something about the lighting in this room. Like, even though it's only one monitor, it's so elegant and classy. I want to sip on some bourbon in this room. I mean, and the guy said, He said, I'm never going back to working from an office. I mean, and like, oh, he's got a light. And people are like, what light is that? And he's like, this one. He's got one on clipped to his monitor, so it lights up his actual desk space. Pretty interesting. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I am a fan.
I do wish they had the screen on it. That always looks better.
Yeah, but I mean, it kind of goes because everything you'd almost think this photo was grayscaled because the deep dark.
It kind of blends in with the black and white kind of.
Well, even the brown wood almost looks gray. The chair is gray. The mouse pad and mouse are gray. The computer is gray. Even the picture hanging up of the water is gray. The only splash of color are the little plants and the keyboard. And like, if they weren't there, your eye would be tricked into thinking that this table for a second is black. And then you're like, oh no, wait, there's a hint of brown in there. So I enjoyed that. It makes my decision what is the best one hard. Man, some good shit in this one. I mean, while this one, the guy does a lot of stuff and has a lot of stuff, this one just is so photogenic.
Plus, he took some care in taking the picture.
Yeah, he actually framed it right. Yeah, and he made it so he's not reflected in the fucking screen. Yeah. And he didn't do a shot face on with the glass on the side panel with the lights on, so it's all reflecting back at you. I hate when people do that. You can't tell what you're looking at. This one, although some of the stuff is kind of there's a lot there, and it looks nice. Like I as nice as my TV is, that one looks pretty dope. And I mean, this one's functional. So I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, and 4. Because while I like this one, it's huge and busy. Like, there should be a whole nother system in this front half of this computer.
Yeah.
Is what I feel.
Looked away for a second. So you were saying this one is your favorite?
Mm-mm. Though this is my last.
Oh yeah.
My
What was your
favorite.
first?
My favorite is this guy.
Oh, okay.
I might have liked it better if the one on the left had been a mirror to the one on the right, but even mine don't match up. So who am I to bitch?
Right. Now you were saying before about barnacles. Would you ever get like? Would you ever like to have like three 4K screens instead of a bunch of, like smaller, lower res screens?
Well, no, because each thing I'm going to have has a purpose. This vertical over here is a vertical to hold shit. This one over here is a vertical to hold shit. This one down here, I want to put a high refresh gaming one, and then I've got a 4K up here. So I can put everything on at whatever resolution I want. Only thing is with 4K, if you could do higher than 60, it's a pain in the ass and hard to drive.
And expensive.
Yeah, right now, Fallout 76 is locked to 60 hertz anyway, or 60 frames a second anyway. So might as well run it in 4K 60.
Yeah.
But I'd like to get a bigger, nicer monitor. I'm still torn with what I'm gonna. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I doubt I'm gonna get a fucking 3090 or 3080 because the cost and having to get a whole new power supply possibly and or adapters and work. Nah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm probably gonna have enough juice to run it. I just wouldn't have the cables, and I don't see the point in having to get adapters when I got a 1300 watt power supply. That's just asinine to me.
Right. We'll get into some of the specs for an article, but yeah, how's that? How's the what was it? What's the Mountain Dew called?
Voodoo Brew.
Voodoo Brew. How is that? Because
it's good. I just wish it would stay cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's. I don't have the AC on up here because if I have it on, after a while it gets goddamn cold, and I don't want to get up and adjust it. So I'll just put up with the fans for now.
You guys need
what? You're breaking up. What?
I say you need one of those Nests thermostats thing you do it on your phone.
Oh, nah. I mean, we've got central air. It's just it doesn't work up here. This house is old. Like our vent that blows the cold air, we put a fan in front of it to move the air a little bit better, and it's still like we put a window unit in our bedroom, keep the door shut there all the time, and we have a window unit in here for when it gets really hot. But right now it's
You're like,
At nighttime it changes so much because I've had it on before, and then I get cold, and I'm not gonna put a hoodie on when it's fucking 78 degrees out. Anyway, want to do some news?
You don't like to wear long sleeves in the summer and your sunglasses at night?
No. If I wasn't doing this show, I wouldn't wear a shirt.
You mean you game with your shirt off, just like in your underwear or something?
No, I wear shorts. I just have my shirt off because it's fucking hot in here.
Yeah. But sure, we can.
My house. It's my house. I do what I want.
Your party, you could cry if you want to, right?
No, what is it?
Because you're looking at yourself with your shirt off.
No, I just I get hot, son, because I'm a man. I'm sweaty. I'm hot.
It's always hot as balls up in that room, right?
I mean, it's
the AC on.
I mean, we do have the AC, but it doesn't work that well. It's an old house. And
I know. I'm saying if you don't have it on, it gets hot as balls. That room is like a amplifier for whatever's outside, right?
Yeah, it's the top of the house, and hot air rises. So anyway, do you have a theme song, or you just?
What is it?
I get to it, I might bring a cooler up here and just put my drinks on ice next week.
Yeah, like I say, you need a mini fridge, man. If you could.
Nah,
fit it
my wife says don't get a mini fridge because she's like, you got to leave that room at some point. And I'm like, that's
Right.
true. I got to leave at some point. So anyway, NVIDIA shares details about, is it Ampere or Amp? How do you pronounce it? You break up right when you answer the question.
Oh, I said I believe it's Ampere.
Ampere Founders Edition, cooling and power design. Yeah, isn't it like a mini 12-pin, I thought?
I think it's something like that. Everything was confirmed for the card. Yeah, it was going to be like the 12 pin was going to be included with the card though, so you're not going to have to buy it, I guess. And it is going to require at least an 850 watt power supply, like minimum.
Yeah, a lot of people don't have those. People are like, you don't need an 850. You can get by with the 650. I'm like, fuck you. My 380, I got by with the 650 barely. And if I wanted to put anything else, I would have had to change everything. So
yeah, and if you I don't know if they even support it, but if you try to put two 3090s, you'd almost need like a 2,000 watt power supply then.
Well, I mean, they've been trying to kill off SLI for a long time. Somebody will fucking do it. They'll run 2 power supplies, one for each. Wah, 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 and then the room will heat up. But, I mean, also, it's gonna be $1,400, right? I mean,
yeah, they said it's gonna be $1,400. I guess it wasn't gonna be the $2,000 people were thinking, but 14 is still pretty high, and I think the next jump down to 3080, 3,000, I'd probably go with the 3080 or the 3080 Ti if they decide to launch that. But NVIDIA is stupid because they don't release all the shit at once, so you don't have any choices. But it's basically the same thing, as the 2080 was.
With all this speculation, it's making prices jump through the fucking roof. I mean, Newegg, 2080 Ti Gaming X Trio, what's the one with that goofy one small fan? Well, I think they're all asymmetrical. They don't match up. Fucking $2,000. And I'm like, why? Like, this is a couple of years old now. But it's because people are, jumping the shark. So people are like, you don't fucking need that. Just get last gen. And then everyone and their brother buys last gen, and you can't get them even on Craigslist and eBay. Remember when people were buying miners? People were buying miners cards.
Yeah.
And now people are going to get old 1080s. The first thing that came out, and they're, it's barely used. I want $2,000 for it. Fuck off. Your card that sat in your fucking basement forever and ever. Shut up.
You might as well get their new version of what'll be like a 3660 or something,
Right.
For the budget card.
Hold on one second. Since I threw this in my gaming news, but it's more relevant to what we're talking about here. Whoop, that's not it. Copy. Don't copy that, floppy.
Wouldn't copy that floppy, would you?
Asus ROG Swift PG259QN 360 Hz gaming monitor.
Oh, shit.
Releasing in September for $699. I mean, people are like, why? And I'm like, so you can say it's there? I mean, yeah, it's 360 hertz, but it's 1080. It's fucking 25 inches. I can't imagine going back to 25 inches. Like,
Yeah.
I've used a 17 inch, and that's laughable. 25 inch is like, like we have 27 inches at work, and people I work with are like, "Oh yeah, that's perfect. That's a perfect." I'm like, until you get ultra wide, and then you're like, "But this is better."
Well, when you first started out with your FX build, you weren't just using the 17-inch, were you? I thought you had like
No,
another monitor or something.
no, I have a 27. It's this monitor I have on the side, and I had a 17 vertical next to it. And when I flipped it vertical, it's the same size height wise as this 27 inch. So, I mean, 360 hertz, that's just hype, because to even run anything past 100 and something, it starts to look like ass. It's just to be the fat, like, you know, when you put your highest clock speed on your GPU, you know what you're doing. You're trying to get people to look at the box and grab it.
Yeah.
The hell was that?
I accidentally clicked the play button on my
Okay.
earphone. Sorry.
But yeah, I mean, it's like, it's just the marketing with their labels. That's all it is. No one's going to actually use it. Ninja, has a 200 hertz one that's like, it's about this big, and that's the reason why it can go that fast, is because it's 1080 that size, and I can't see this being practical.
I mean,
I'd love to watch the reviews.
How much
Huh?
frames you could get out of that, but even with that, depending on your resolution and what game you're playing, you might not be able to get much higher,
It only does 1080.
Yeah.
So they can't go bigger, because I have a 34-inch 20 or 2650 or whatever the hell by 1080, and things blown up look shitty on it because it's pixelated. So that's why they did 25 inch, and it's like, But
these dudes that use like liquid nitrogen to overclock their shit so they could do like 1,000 frames a second or something on that Doom.
Yeah, they probably would be like, "Oh, dude, this is totally worth it."
Yeah.
Get all the frames, all the
1,000 frames a
frames.
second. That's like, you could actually do like real life. That's like slow motion then, like when they
said in load screens they were doing like 1,060.
Yeah.
Liam Lee released the modular Unifan SL120 fans that cleaned the LED or the lead jungle.
Yeah, so these are like, I don't know if you saw the UFD Tech video on these, but
Nah.
He he was showing them off and did a review of them. They're basically it's a modular fan system where you can connect the fans together, and then on the other side you have a connection for the cord, and you don't have a whole mess of RGB and fan cables.
I mean, really, like, if you have radiators, you're gonna have 3 of them bad boys right next to each other.
Yeah.
If you only have one fan like stretched out somewhere in your case and another fan somewhere else, a long ass cable makes sense. This instance, no, and I understand it. Having to tuck away a cable is a pain in the ass.
Yeah, especially
so I have
because
6.
They're going to be different lengths because they're at different positions along the radiator. Then,
right, I have 6, and my RGB fans came with the hub. That still didn't make it any easier. Which also, I gotta take it when I take this apart. I gotta look, because the front fans my deep cools aren't working, and I don't know if
Yeah,
I
I remember you
accidentally
saying
unplugged.
that.
I don't know if I accidentally unplugged the hub, but I put the front panel on and filled everything up and started up before I realized, oh, whoops, because I had a loose
Yeah.
cable that I realized it was loose later, and I was like, oh, maybe that goes to the hub. They work, so I don't care about that
Yeah.
as long as they work.
Right.
They'll last until I change the fluid next. I have enough RGB in there, as you can see.
Yeah.
But this is cool.
But you could never have enough though, right, Frank? Just like guitars.
There's a
Yeah.
there's a build that
Never too
a girl did called NERGB, never enough RGB. So you would probably like that.
I mean, it's cool. He was saying that I think they were saying it only supports like each thing only supports like connecting and all together like 4 fans in a row, but he was able to get like 6 like like dangling off each other.
Yeah, at that point you run into the limitations of RGB technology.
Yeah.
Unredacted suit shows Google's own engineers confused by privacy settings.
Yeah,
Users
so
could make change, but it was difficult enough that people won't, one employee wrote. Oh boy. Don't be evil, Google. Don't be evil.
yeah, newly
Um,
unsealed and partially unredacted documents from a consumer fraud suit the state of Arizona filed against Google show that company employees knew and discussed among themselves that the company's location privacy settings were confusing and potentially misleading.
mhm.
The oh shit meeting. The suit also provides a fascinating insight into how Google reacts when negative news team or the when a negative news item about the company goes big. The day the AP story was published, Sue says Google turned into crisis mode and held a self-styled "oh shit" meeting in reaction to the story.
Mhm.
Right, but it's just like YouTube, man.
Well,
That we don't even know. The AI runs itself, man.
right?
We have no idea what's going on.
They're like, well, the AI said that we should do this.
Yeah, AI overlord.
I, for one, welcome our new robot overlords. One second. I had a story about Google too.
Oh, you
Come
did,
to
huh?
think of it, yes. Google says your Chrome tabs
News.
will soon load up to 10% faster, and you'll be able to collapse and expand your tab groups. Google's Google's improving the performance of tabs in Chrome, according to new blog post, and the changes could lead to speed gains of up to 10%. When you're checking off the task after another from your to-do list, waiting even a few seconds while your tabs load can slow you down, Google's Alex Ansley wrote. But yeah, tab grouping, which they announced in May. I don't know. Sounds like they're going to do like Firefox, where they're just going to have so many options. You're like, I don't even know what to do.
Yeah.
I don't use half this shit. That's what it's going to be. I didn't. because they were one of the first ones to come out with those little what the hell do they call those now that Google has extensions. What they were add-ons, and there were so many, and they did so many of the same things. You're like, I don't even know what I'm looking at anymore. What am I doing? Now you have another Google story. A Chrome feature is creating enormous load on global root DNS servers. A Chrome feature. Okay.
Yeah, this one. It said Google is doing the DNS what D-Link once did to NTP.
What is this in lay speak, Ian?
The lay speak is whatever this the next couple paragraphs I'm about to read is.
DNS, or the domain name system, is how computers translate relatively memorable domain names like artstechnica.com into far less memorable IP addresses like 3.128.236.93. Without DNS, the internet could exist in a human usable form, which means unnecessary load on its top-level infrastructures is a real problem. Loading a single modern web page can require a dizzying number of DNS lookups. When we analyzed ESPN's front page, we counted 93 separate domain names from a.espncdn.com to z.motads.com, which needed to be performed in order to fully load the page. In order to keep the load manageable for a lookup system that must service the entire world, DNS is designed as many-stage hierarchy. At the top of this pyramid are the root servers. Each top-level domain, such as .com, has its own family of servers that are the ultimate authority for every domain beneath it. One step above those are the actual root servers, a.rootservers.net through m.root/servers.net.
Yeah, this.
Oh boy.
Like I said, this is pretty in depth.
Yeah, so we're running out of internet.
Yeah.
I like those Cheez-It commercials. We keep going, we'll run out of cheese. We keep going, we'll run out of internet. I mean, it makes sense. They made it so non-tech savvy people can use the web because they had to have shortcuts and shit to make it faster. Yeah. And now they're running out of links. Right? Basically?
Right. I think so. But Chrome's not just eating memory, it's eating the internet.
Yeah. Pretty much. Like your RAM is one thing, and now we're gonna make everything slow. First, we take away your hangout calls, and then we make everything else you do slow. Because in your do you use Google DNS?
No, I don't. Isn't that like doesn't that make it
1.
faster for you?
1.1.1.
Yeah.
Huh? Doesn't that what?
Yeah, doesn't that like make you like your? Doesn't it generally improve your speed or something if you use that DNS instead? If you manually use that.
I remember Linus said to use it, so pretty much everybody did.
Yeah.
But God help me trying to explain this to people that don't do tech.
Right.
And I'm like, when you click on a link, do you type in the actual address, or do you just type in facebook.com? Well, yeah, I go to the Facebook. No, you don't. You're going to an IP address. It's all ones and zeros. But no one remembers the fucking ones and zeros for Facebook. Because BMod doesn't do that. Okay, this is
right.
This is required reading. All of you study this and then come back to us next week and talk about it amongst yourselves, because we're not going to fucking listen. Okay, next. Too in-depth. Next.
Fucking next.
Judge delivers split decision on Epic versus Apple. More positive than negative for Epic. Okay, you can sum this up.
I'm not sure if you're following along with that Apple versus Epic thing.
Don't care. Nah. They threw Chrome in there or Google in there. Don't care. I don't play Fortnite. I don't game on my phone. I
don't either,
don't
but
care.
it's still interesting to see how that case will fold out because I
They
hate Apple. So
Apple is the devil, sure, but Epic, while we're worrying about our content creators and blah blah blah, they circumvented the terms of service. You sign a contract, you fucking didn't stick by it, you don't get the Monday.
yeah, I will say, I mean that it's not just Apple though. Google and other services do, I think, take a 30% cut, but I mean, a lot of other people are saying it is pretty high in general though.
I mean,
So,
well, like the head of Apple said, we went down by like 60%. So, I mean, if you want to do better, make your own goddamn OS.
was it?
Do you remember you're a Steam OS? Uh-huh. And that was a computer OS. Let's see a shitty phone OS.
Right.
Google's still trying to come out with something other than Android. Remember Fuchsia? When the fuck's that coming out?
Right.
Uh-huh.
Well, the thing that a lot of people didn't like though was that Apple was favoriting other like things like Amazon and other apps that they were giving them like a 15% cut. But anyways, it's said in they basically they told Epic Apple can kick you out of the App Store or whatever, and like the Fortnite and all that, but they did say that it was too far reaching, getting rid of their developer access with the Unreal Engine, because they were gonna revoke their access to be able to use the tools just to be able to use the Unreal Engine on iOS, and that would have affected not just Epic but a whole lot of other stores and stuff, or like a lot of other developers, like game developers. So
yeah,
but I mean, you're not like a big mobile game guy, anyways.
nah, because you undoubtedly get the best service from home. If I'm at home, unless I'm on the toilet, I'm not flipping through anything on my phone. I have a tablet. I have this thing. I mean, I'll use it because that's the trap. I pull it out to check something, and next thing I know, I've been on 10 websites. I can't sit in game. I sit in game for 8 hours. I'm not gonna sit on my fucking phone and put time into it. I tried. There was a game I really liked that was like farmland for. It had zombies in it and shit. And like there was a cheat where if you turn the clock off of your phone and then set it ahead, you could like your fucking crops would grow faster and shit. But that was extra time and energy I really didn't need. Nothing much to say about that.
Right.
Facebook has begun ghosting the Oculus moniker in its VR division. Company's annual VR Focus conference, dated September 16, removes Oculus branding.
Yeah, they were talking about Linus, and then we're talking about that on the WAN show.
You may remember years of Oculus Connect conferences, which focused on the company's efforts in virtual reality and other mixed reality mediums. That conference is dead. It's Facebook Connect now. I can just hear Doug. Who gives a shit? It's VR. It's bullshit. I agree. I don't think VR is the future, as awesome as it is. I see augmented reality being the future. Because if you could go about your day and still have some shit going around in your periphery, then maybe. And advertisers will figure out a way to throw pop ups in there.
Would you be a
You know,
glasshole?
no, I mean, if you're walking around, did you ever see the movie Her? You're walking around with your earpiece in, and it's reading your news to you,
I haven't seen
and
that
it's
movie,
like
but is that like a Minority Report type of thing or something?
it's a sci-fi romance where what's his name, Joaquin Phoenix falls in love with his operating system, which is voiced by Scarlett Johansson,
Uh,
and he's like you don't have to sit and type to be at a computer because that is kind of the way it's going. Like I said, with DNS, you have to make it less nerdy for the mainstream. You have to dumb it down.
yeah,
So, like, the one guy, he writes letters for people so they don't have to write custom letters for, themselves. And he doesn't actually write anything. He reads, he says it records everything, and writes it in, like, handwritten font. And, like, that's probably how it's going to be. Like, I imagine when you go out, it's probably going to end up being augmented reality. So you can still walk around and buy shit in society. Because, if you're just sitting at home, yeah, you're ordering stuff, but you're not, spending near as much money as if you went outside and did the same thing. So,
right.
which, that's why I think mobile, they've got to do actual unlimited at some point because they get more customers if you're walking around all the time. And you'll buy more
Oh,
things
yeah,
because you're
definitely.
online. Why the fuck not? You can
Right.
afford to. You're gonna, and like, I mean, yeah, blocking reality out and gaming in a 3D space is cool, but not a lot of people have space, especially if you spent the money for a banging setup that can support it.
Yeah, you'd have
And
to basically get one of those. What is that thing that keeps you in the center? That treadmill thing?
yeah, like
You'd have to
I
get
remember when
that
they
or.
had we had VR at the fair one time, and I tried it, and they literally put you in like a circular ring, like you're a fucking I don't know, like a not like a sumo wrestler. It's smaller than that, but it's just you. So if you walk away, you don't run out. You're in that
Yeah.
enclosed space, and even if it's in your own home, I wouldn't like that. And
Yeah. Well, you'd have to. The only other option would be is if you had some kind of, like pre-mapped out thing where, like, say you have an actual like paintball course or whatever, but that's also like, it's the same map in the video game, but like it looks different or something.
well, they were like talking. I don't remember what the exact story was, but we were talking about like video conferencing where they could do augmented reality to where your friends are sitting down in the chair. There's the same chair you have in your room, so they're it looks like they're sitting right in front of you
Yeah.
because there's an actual fucking chair and shit there. Until you reach out and you're like, oh, you're not really here. Because like Zoom calls are bullshit right now. By the way, I had to sit in a Skype call at work and it was shitty because it was just voice and all you see is the person's badge picture. But
Yeah.
if you
Yeah. I'm glad
like what we
we
do,
got this shit to work.
yeah, and I mean like if it were set up like for actual business purposes, if all they said, okay, you just set up a conference room and put the furniture in these exact spots and anywhere in the world, you can have a meeting and it'll feel like you're right across from the person that you're supposed to be doing business with. That makes sense.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
they'd really have to have like some crazy RTX level shit to make sure that it looks good because that that shit, like, in order to be perfectly placed and stuff, it's always gonna be like glitching and popping out and stuff, you know.
Like your camera right now. Reports 4K Nintendo
Yeah.
Switch revision slated for 2021 launch.
What's going on with that?
What? Oh, your camera?
Oh,
I
you said
mean-
my camera. Oh, is my camera's just? I thought you were talking about my mic.
No, your camera. It's doing like mine used to. Like instead of how mine did a green picture, yours is going gray.
Really?
So I don't know. Might be just a USB. Mine was the USB port was plugged in. I don't know what's up with yours. I ended up having to do a hub. Remember, a powered hub.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know.
So a
it
4K
kinda
Switch.
lags a little bit, so I'm not sure what's going on.
Mm,
But,
don't know, dog.
Yeah, but anyway, sorry. Yeah,
4K
this is just a 4K Switch is gonna be coming out basically.
I mean, I think they should make the shitty normal Switch cheaper. It's still $300 fucking dollars.
Really, I didn't know that.
Oh, you haven't seen those commercials? They show like people playing the Switch, and then they show the regular Switch is $299, and the non-dockable Switch that's just a giant Game Boy, it's like $199. So it's only $100 cheaper.
Hey man,
So, like,
trying to hold that. I mean, isn't that the same price as when it came out? I mean, that's holding to their guns, man.
yeah. Well, the only thing they have, like, there's the Mario and Animal Crossing. I mean, I want a Switch, but not for that price. Like, if I could dock it and play on this thing, but anyway, I mean, I can see that sure, that'll sell. I mean, the Wii, I think, only got up to like 480, maybe 720. So why not 4K?
Yeah, it's not gonna be until 2021 though. So
Yeah, it's not gonna. I can't imagine it performing that well at 4K. Like, I think for portable, a 1440 would be the most reasonable. Because when people do those Switch emulations, to get them to run at 4K 60, they have to run mods,
yeah,
and I don't know.
yeah. I was talking to Nate, and he said like the newest emulation thing for the.
God damn it! Hold on.
Oh, what's wrong?
I just spilled water on myself. Hold on.
Oh shit.
It's on my shirt. Whatever. Yeah, they've got a couple emulators for Switch. I don't know.
Well, they had
I don't follow
the Wii U one, which was still supposed to be able to play that, the Zelda Breath of the Wild. That, Nate was saying that's been like buggy too lately.
Well, I remember the Switch. Everyone was wanting the new SpongeBob remaster of Battle for Bikini Bottom. It was like 20 years later.
Right. I mean, I would say it is pretty impressive that they, it's basically like the graphics on it are pretty good. I mean, it's still better than like what you could get on a mobile phone, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
a console technically. They were saying, or that's what I led to believe.
hold on. Let me look. 'Cause I don't know. Let me see. Switch.
I don't even know what kind of GPU they got. They probably got to have some proprietary shit in there.
I mean, the emulators, I've seen a guy run it on just a 4-core CPU. Oh,
Yeah.
notice
Your phone's have like eight cores now.
yeah, I got 12 gigs of RAM on my phone. Nintendo Switch device offers a 6.2-inch 720p multi-touch display that runs at 1280 by 720 resolution. When in handheld mode, when docked, the Switch is capable of outputting full 1080p visuals to the HDMI connector. So portable, it's 720.
That's crazy because I mean, and I believe your phone is like 1440.
Yes, it is.
That's just in a phone. which I think is smaller.
Mine's 1440 with the. How many hertz was this? I don't remember. Hold on. Settings.
Did you get that 120 hertz
Display. Phone? No, this is That was another reason I got this. It had a resolution. Depth to sync. 90 hertz. So I have a 1440 90 hertz.
Bump. That's pretty
Huh?
nice. You get a bump there.
Yeah.
Huh? It's like halfway there.
Yeah. I got a 1440 90 hertz phone with what is it? What do they call the always on screen? What's that called? The ambient screen or whatever. And 90 hertz, 1440 with quick charging, and it does just look at water on my feet. And it has no camera cutout on the screen.
Right.
The newer versions of my phone have camera cutouts, which I think is a step backward.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, but they're going to do work on Verizon 5G. OnePlus.
No, Rona.
Oh. Yeah, like OnePlus 7 Pro, which is my phone. See, how can they show this? It looks different. OnePlus 7 Pro. Oh, that's unlocked. What? They sell that on Verizon.com?
The Switch 2 is bigger and like the screen size. So it's like, I think they at least give you a 1080 screen on there.
I mean, when it's docked, yeah. Steam's getting fine. Oh, here we go. Top device brands. Of course, it's not a top brand. It's a Chinese company people haven't heard of for some reason. And I have it with the black thing, so it's not looking right. Verizon, OnePlus. Hold, please.
Well, I suppose in general, though, it's probably foolish in a level all their own. They're like, everything's so compacted in there, and like there's so much, there's so much money put into phones. I think I forget what the video was. Linus was doing a video a while ago, like why are webcams so much on our phones, which is basically because like there's so much more research and effort put into the phones than there are in like the web.
But yeah, the version 8, I have the 7 Pro. The 8 here has a little cutout for like the hole punch like the Samsung phones do. Okay. But it's 5G. No thanks.
You couldn't just keep the screen and put the 5G in there? Why did you have to be like, oh, we need to give the customer worse? I mean,
right. If I wanted a fucking hole punch, I'd have bought a damn Samsung Note or something. Now, I have a what the fuck article. You mind if I throw it in here?
It's my last one anyway, so we're...
Oh, you'll enjoy this one, sir. This guy mounted a 70 200 millimeter lens on his Game Boy camera for portraits.
On his Game Boy camera?
Yeah.
I didn't know Game Boy had a camera.
Oh, you don't remember that?
Never had a Game Boy.
I didn't, but I know of it. I gotta turn the fucking global dark thing off real quick so I can scroll. There we go.
How old is this Game Boy? Is this like one of the modern
90
type of things?
No, this was like 90s. See, he like
really?
had a 3D print a thing. Yeah. Yeah, see, the Game Boy camera.
Oh.
But he had a 3D print adapter for it, I guess. Here he is mounting shit.
Oh, okay.
See, there's the 3D printed thing. Yeah, I mean, look at that. That's not a new Game Boy by any stretch.
And so it's what did you do with the camera? I didn't even.
You could take a picture of somebody and print it out.
Oh, really? Was it digital then?
I mean, hold on.
Or did they have like a little film thing in there?
It looked like that. So it didn't look great or nothing, but
that made you so you could like zoom in pretty far then, huh?
yeah, here's like he ordered a digital print. So he's like 7 days later. He fucking got a canvas print of this shitty picture he took of his friend. Or wife or whatever the fuck. But yeah. So I figured, this would be all up your alley because it's, old school Game Boy, 3D printing, camera.
So like you could take a picture and you had a little preview of the picture on the screen even.
I mean, I didn't have a Game Boy when they were around.
Like I mean the lens thing is pretty impressive, but I'm totally oblivious to the fact that they like they had a camera on like a video game, like a pocket video game thing. Like they don't even there's not even a camera on the Switch now, is there?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked like, but like I guess you could get the Game Boy printer, but I mean,
your face, your head. Shit. What's the difference?
Duke Nukem.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all kinds of YouTube videos about it, so that's something for you to check out. Oh, damn. Canon EF lens. Look at that fucking thing.
Yeah, a lot of those, like the older lenses are still pretty good for putting on cars because they thousands of dollars for back in the day. Even though they're you have to operate them manually instead of having the camera, like do autofocus and stuff automatically for you. But they still have like really high quality glass in them, so it's it's like getting a really high quality, like a thousands of dollars microphone from back in the day. It's still going to be really good quality.
Right. This post from 7 years ago, the guy says, "Found my Game Boy camera. 11-year-old pictures still there." So that's 18 years ago. So like late 90s. I mean, this is probably about the same time as like chip clips. Remember people walking around with that little plastic thing from Walmart playing Britney Spears and NSYNC?
Yeah. Or like Tamagotchis and shit.
Right. So, so that's my last story.
Did you ever have a beeper back in the day?
Yes.
You did, huh?
I had a beeper and a cell phone that you had to go pull the antenna out with your teeth.
Oh, really?
Yes. And the
how
hate
did
about
the
my
beepers work? Did it just tell you like you could? It just told you the phone number to call this phone number back, or could you actually do like messages on there?
They would call your number, and then at the tone, you would enter the number you would like to be displayed on the beeper, and people would like, just like a calculator back in the day in school, like you flip it upside down and it would say boobless. My buddy would hit me with boobless shoe. It was always a code. It was like, oh, hey, it's me, but you wouldn't put the real number in there.
Mm.
So that way if your parents found it, 420, I guess, would be a dealer thing back in the day. I don't know.
Yeah, 420. You could do like 911 for help or something.
Yeah, I had a buddy who I was trying to get a hold of somebody, and he took my thing. He's like, "Yeah, do 911, and they know it's real serious." And so my friend like left where he was at, and he's like, "Man, are you all right?" I was like, "Yeah, we were just trying to get a hold of you." He's like, "Oh man, I thought something was fucking wrong. I was all worried." Like, oh, I was like, "Thanks, dude, asshole."
Stigma back in the day, like they had that whole episode on Fresh Prince where like that Uncle Phil didn't like him having a beeper or whatever because they people associated drug dealers with them. So
Yeah, I had one in the '90s, and you couldn't have it at school. You just put it on silent, just like a phone now.
yeah,
I mean, I had one, and one dude got the wrong number, and he called me, and he messaged me like in the middle of the night, and I called him back, and he's like, "What are you doing? If you're in high school, what are you doing home?" I said, "I'm having a day off. I'm homesick. Now quit, paging me. I'm trying to get a hold of my friend." I said, "Well, this isn't his number," and he didn't believe me. And then as soon as I got off the phone with him, he sent it again. I said, "Quit calling my fucking pager number. I told you this is not your friend. I'm trying to get a hold of my friend, dude." Dumbass. But anyway, that's all I got.
all right. Well, I guess
So
we can
we can what?
we could GTFO.
Woohoo!
I want to see my family, Frank.
I want to see my video games.
You mean your video game?
Shh.
You don't play other shit.
If you play it multiple times, it feels like more.
Gotcha. Anyways, thanks for coming out for the show.